is up today, guys? It's Mystic Dreamcatcher, and today we have Total Drama Antagonists versus Protagonists versus Comedic Relief. Here are the contestants I have chosen to do this. Keep in mind, everything going forward is only my opinion. I appreciate you guys very much for watching this. Don't be afraid to leave a like and subscribe. It'd be amazing and it means a lot. Go ahead and comment down one person from each team you believe will win. This is how we are deciding the challenges and how story and character development will proceed. As you can see, we got a nice variety of challenges. I tried to make it variety anyway. By the way, before we get to today's video, I do notice there are a couple Total Drama characters I do lack in my video. If there is someone that is usually missing and you want to see them in a tier list, go ahead and comment down that person. And the first challenge for these competitors is creating something artistic. Alright, well obviously we gotta give this to the protagonist, definitely winning. And you know what, I'm gonna say the antagonists are with them. Unfortunately, Comedic Relief not getting the dub here. RIP the homie Spud, but he is indeed the first person out of this game. That is a little sad, but that is how I see it would be going. Like, these three could probably convince Dwayne out of fear, and then Noah probably wouldn't mind voting him out either. The only person I could see having a problem with it is Owen and maybe Dwayne because they're from the same season, but I don't think Dwayne cares about Spud. Next challenge theme is going to be shamefulness. Basically, they have to do something they are morally against. You know how Chris is. That is definitely something Chris would do. And I'm gonna say that DJ, Bridget, and Dawn hella makes the protagonist lose. Seeing these three in the bottom, Jeff and Lashana kind of say, hey homies, vote with us and we got you. Because I feel like these four would have an extremely strong bond. AKA, Dawn, I'm sorry, but you are the 20th person voted out. I know that hurts a lot of you, but it is what it is. By the way, Happy New Year's, everyone. As you can see, the time for me right now is 10 p.m. right on the dot. Challenge is going to be a huge, dangerous maze for the teams to try and cross and solve and find their way out of. Alright, so I'm gonna say Comedic Relief probably loses once again right here. Izzy kinda takes control of Dwayne and Anne Maria. And Anne Maria has huge clutch on Lindsay. Probably Dwayne will remind these two that these two were just in Ridonkulous Race. Not to mention Owen's previous stats. Owen, I'm sorry, goodbye the homie. By the way, if you have any ideas or suggestions, comment them down below. And the next challenge is going to be uncomfortable. Alright, so this could be like spiky beds, sandpaper treadmill. Comedic Relief, I'm gonna say, gets a break from the torture. And antagonist, basically y'all losing. Jasmine, Lashana, and Brick probably taking a big one for this team. I feel like Scott and Joe would probably go to Scarlet, especially seeing how she was in her previous season. They kind of make a little pact, and they invite JackBox not to really be a part of it, but just for this one vote. 18th place is sadly Courtney. I just feel like her talk in this wouldn't be as good as Heather's. Along with Justin being a male, and there is already one less male in this season, so I feel like Scott and JackBox would take that into factor. Plus, I feel like Joe and Courtney, probably a no-go. The next episode challenge is going to revolve around strength. So, obviously, antagonists got that, and I'm sorry, but Comedic Relief, you're going back to the campfire ceremony, where I feel like Noah is sadly out. RIP the homie. With the contestants now having plenty of time to talk and get alliances, this is starting to get a little bit more game-like, and the next challenge is villain plot armor. That would have been more helpful during the end, but obviously antagonists and Comedic Relief both win this immunity, sending these guys to ceremony, in which I feel like Brick and Jasmine obviously feel like they are on the outs. But I feel like these two would probably go to LaShawn and remind her how close she got and how she was robbed and how hard she tried. This, that, this. I do believe she'd be able to successfully flip. I feel like DJ would probably flip as well. Basically one of these two out. And out of those two, it's obviously Bridget. I feel like she tried her best, but when it comes to strategy talk amongst this group, I don't think it really comes to par. Plus, they feel like Jeff, if he made it to merge, he'd be able to be a nice vote threat and a shield since he already previously won. Alright, we now now have the last elimination on this row. Alright, and the suspense is going to be speed as the challenge. Trying to zoom their way past this spot. Fuck it, antagonists, y'all gonna have to get hit with a little bit of work. Come on now. Jacques fast as fuck. Scott, little bit speedy. Feel like Joe is hella fast. So out of these three, I feel like the one probably being targeted. Well, actually, you know what? If these three were being targeted, I feel like Scarlet would big brain. Get with these two. Tell Scott that's either going to be a tie and something will happen tonight, or they can just flip on Jacques. She reminds Scott that soon it'll either be a mix or the merge, in which Jacques could possibly go against him, and would he rather go against Scarlet or Jacques, in which obviously Scarlet was able to save herself, and inadvertently Heather and Justin. Jacques getting the raw deal, which means the teams are now going to shuffle a little bit. Alright, so there is no longer 3 teams as that is dissolved. It is now going to be 2. Lit Penguins and Raging Snail, a bingo kind of thing with their names on it in the show, decides who is on what team. So basically just completely random RNG. And here are the teams down to the final 14. Let's get back to the challenges. So obviously they're gonna have to talk that game, try to make new alliances, and this challenge is villain plot armor. Damn, they're using their villain plot armor super early in the game. Alright, so the team with the more villains on it happens to be Lit Penguin, so they win. I feel like with Raging Snails, Brick and Joe obviously recognize they are on the outs, and Izzy quickly takes that chance with Heather to seclude them, cause Heather knows that without them, she's out. And Izzy knows that she doesn't have a great reputation of staying here either. So if they could solidify this 4, that could be great. Lashana is unfortunately who they turn on. Pause. Making her 14th place, you did great. Plus you won a lot of other ones. The final 13 are facing off in a gross food eating competition. Alright, if Owen was here, this is where he would have been goated. Same thing with Lashana. DJ has a history of struggling with eating things. I feel like Joe and Izzy would literally eat whatever was in front of them. Scott eats dirt and mud, so he would probably do it. Same thing with Jasmine. And Maria probably wouldn't. Lindsay probably wouldn't. Dwayne might actually be a Chad and put a little bit of work in on this challenge. I feel like he would, especially to prove himself. Justin wouldn't. So I feel like there's a lot of woulds, but also wouldn'ts, where on this team it's like a middle chance on everyone except like Izzy and Joe who would. There isn't really a wouldn't except DJ, so I'm gonna say Raging Snails win. So obviously a super lit alliance would be Justin and Maria, Lindsay, and you know what? I'm gonna say that Justin is tired of working with Scott. Scarlet tells him about the move and deal she made with Scott, letting Justin know that Scott is pay to win in a fashion sense, and he's going after targetable threats where Justin could be seen as that. So I feel like this is where they turn on Scott. Pause. I need to find a new phrase. Honestly, Scott, you're out. Leaving us with the final 12, 3 away from the merge, but they do not know that. The final 12 of this competition are going to be against a brain challenge. Battle of the wits, puzzles, strategy, memory, stuff like that. Now this is a hard one because Scarlet is on this team, but Izzy is on this team. However, Dwayne and Lindsay are on this team, and I feel like that would be a huge anchor. Raging Snails winning, sending Lindsay home as she was the biggest fumble for this team. Dwayne almost, you better watch yourself. 12th place, not bad, not bad. With just 1 away from being a final 10 placement, the challenge is going to be, oh, this is great. About time one of those are used. Obviously, with it being an easy challenge, basically meant to give leeway for those you believe would be in like the David field instead of the Goliath. Raging Snails having to vote someone out. Whatever this challenge is, I feel like DJ and Jeff did the best. Now, even though I feel like they did the best, I am going to say that this alliance actually doesn't budge. Not now anyway. Voting off the previous winner. I'm sorry. Jeff, you did amazing. Alright, final 10. Congratulations on making it this far. The contestants are told that whichever team wins this next challenge, everyone on it wins immunity and goes directly to the merge. The losing team will have to vote someone out, and then everyone remaining will also then go to merge. So this is a big butterfly effect moment depending on what challenge is chosen, and it is a cooking challenge to get to merge. Not half bad for a merge challenge. Obviously, Heather fumbled this before, but DJ is incredible at cooking. I kind of feel like Izzy would be alright at it. Scarlett might be alright. Dwayne may be a steak or something. Jasmine could probably cook, but I doubt these two can. You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and say that Raging Snails wins this. So congratulations to the 5 of them. Lit Penguins having to send someone home. And I feel like this is when Jasmine is super targeted, especially going into the merge. She'd be a huge threat in every department. Goodbye. 10th place, you did amazing. You're just too OP. Kind of like Izzy. Alright, there will be a rejoin. Someone previously voted out will be able to come back into the game and fight for a chance to win. And that person is going to be Lindsay. Congratulations. Come on back. You are welcome back onto the show, and let's see how you do. I'm not sure if they will try to get Lindsay out first or pick her up, and the immunity challenge for the first individual is going to be endurance. This is actually a great first individual immunity challenge, so basically whoever can just pull through it, fight through it. I'm gonna say it's gonna be like a finale 3 between Brick, Izzy, and Joe. Izzy takes this as an opportunity to get the target maybe off her back and the rest of the Islanders, so she'd jump off. Joe and Brick being the last 2 left. Brick falling off, Joe being immune. Feel like the Revenge of the Islanders are going to be targeted, and even though Anne Maria wasn't one of the final 2, I feel like Brick is more liked than her, assuming you're not Lindsay or Justin. So I'm sorry, Anne Maria, but you are the 10th person voted out, and the first person voted out of the merge. 1 in 9 chance at winning this entire thing, and the challenge is going to be easy. I think y'all already know who this is going to. Yes, sir. Lindsay wins. Matter of fact, I'ma say it's a double immunity. Dwayne, go ahead and have a win yourself. Be a little gluttonous, why don't you, my boy? Alright, so with Lindsay just now coming back on to sing someone she adores, immediately voted off. I don't think that sits well with her. It doesn't sit well with Justin. So I feel like these 3 form a little son-son. And Justin, knowing the threats and the targets are on Joe and Brick, he invites them into an alliance where Brick says, okay, I'll do this, but DJ's off the table, in which he says bet. So I feel like the big move against Anne Maria probably would have came from Scarlett or Heather, and being majority with Island, I feel like Heather's probably going to get caught in the major crossfire and 9th place. She did well and she did strategize. I feel like that would be very nice for Heather to go there, which would now leave us only with people who did not win. The last previous winner has now been voted off. We are now among the final 8. That is a huge stepping stone into their game careers at this. Hella nice to see. What's in store for our final 8 competitors? It is a sponsored Black Ops 2 Zombies tournament. Yes, sir. All the boys gotta get behind an Xbox 360 controller. Hop on 2 individual games in which the top 2 point earners of that game will go into the final 4 game, where in that match, whichever player has the most points stacked up wins. So to make it fair, I'm gonna say the first 4 is Scarlett, Izzy, Justin, and Brick, in which the second pair is Dwayne, DJ, Lindsay, and Joe. Top 2 for this, I believe, would be, you know what, probably Scarlett and Izzy. And the top 2 for this, you know what, I'm gonna say Dwayne has some special backstory where, like, one of the few moments he has with Junior that they actually bond and do stuff together is like zombies, and so he's actually good with that, along with Joe. That is more character development for Dwayne. I don't feel like he would win. I feel like that would probably go to Izzy, but very nice job. The Islanders Islanders still having the majority, and DJ being as super likable as he is, I feel like he has no choice but to just get targeted here. I'm sorry. Especially by the likes of these. They even go against Brick's wish. They tell Lindsay that Brick said it was okay even though he didn't. So a little bit of duping. We got 7th, the last person on this row. 5 challenges remain for these final 7 competitors, and it is going to be a 4-wheeler / ATV race. Alright, so that's kind of nutty. I'ma say that Joe and Izzy are hella dusting everyone. Matter of fact, they come in first together at the exact same time. They even do like the playback and literally frame per frame, pixel by pixel, they came in together. Pause. In which I feel like Scarlett has probably had enough of Lindsay's tomfoolery, and she wants to cripple Izzy because she's super afraid now that Izzy will just blast her way to the final. So by crippling the Islanders, I feel like she is able to successfully do that by going to Brick, Joe, and Dwayne, who I feel like would be able to flip. Because if it wasn't Z, no cap, it's probably Dwayne. So he's worried anyway. You got brought back in, lasted 3 more episodes. You did amazing. Good job, Lindsay. Now they are down to the final stretch. The final 6. We got 3 antagonists, 1 protagonist, and 2 comedic reliefs. 4 challenges remained, and it is going to be blindfolded tasks. They will all have to go through a certain maze or puzzle-like thing while blindfolded, and at the end, they can take off their blindfold and go through a mirror maze. If you win this, you are given the power to bring someone else with immunity. As you know, Dwayne has a little bit of hearing loss. So I feel like he is goated in getting through this anyway because he's used to, a little bit of not hearing. Now with everyone left, I'm not sure if he has like a closest ally. But I do know Scarlett brought him into the last thing, kind of saving him by making it Lindsay instead of himself. So he brings Scarlett with the immunity, in which she kind of has a plan with him. Justin and Joe joins the plan. Brick is excluded but not targeted, aka Izzy, way too much of a comp threat. Not to mention you won immunity quite a few times and you have talked a lot of game. The final 5, so close to the finish line, and they have to rap battle for it. Oh boy. You can clearly see how this might go in a couple directions. I'm not sure if any of these people right here would be any kind of good at spitting bars. Feel like Scarlett tries to be too fancy, it becomes a poem and it's disqualified. Dwayne can't spit shit. Joe's shit would probably be some of the corniest, along with Brick. His shit would be like, I'm your dad, go to bed, you're a doo-doo head, some shit like that. So Justin, honestly, you might be the only one with bars. And he worked with these 4 previously, and I feel like he would work with them again. Goodbye, Brick. You kind of needed this, and your bars were not crispy whatsoever. Justin, Joe, Scarlett, and Dwayne surprisingly making their way to the final 4. Kinda nutty. It's 1 person from each season, by the way. That's kind of cool. Alright, so this could be extremely in Dwayne's favor, and it is. Oh my god. It literally saved itself all the way for the end, specifically for Dwayne. That easy, meaning Dwayne wins immunity. Once again, he takes Scarlett, and between Justin and Joe, I feel like Justin has given him more chances. I feel like Scarlett is probably more aligned with Justin than Joe. So Joe, 4th place. So close. You did amazing, RP. So obviously with only 1 category left, it is creating a machine, which Scarlett is able to do, and like a butterfly effect, with Dwayne keeping her so much and proving his loyalty, she actually takes out Justin. The final 2 being Scarlett and Dwayne, and I think I actually made it make sense. So both are obviously going to be winners, but obviously one is usually chosen as an alt winner. And in my opinion, that alt is Scarlett, but it can be whatever you want to be. I hope you guys liked this. If you did, make sure to please leave a like and subscribe. It's a huge ass help to the channel. GG, my boys. Have a good
I miss
day.
the boogeyman. Oh no, I truly am. I smoke those cigarettes and take your daughter's hand. I'm in your scary dreams, I'll make you patient pan. So quick to write me off, just like that 100 grand. I miss the